spread religion or share their love or have enough kids for the farm, or they want to make sure they have a son, or they want to pass on the family name. So what are the various factors, such as tax incentives was the one that this group came up with, that might influence the number that you actually have? And subset, how might you measure that? Tax incentives is easy. You look up the child tax credit. But what are things that might influence the number? So now we've sort of established what the goal might be. We have not chosen just one. We have a brainstorm list. Now we want to brainstorm what are the various factors. Think prices, think income, think other kind of economic things. Yes, you can include that too. Yeah, so you can include laws like that. Touch me. Yeah, you can include laws. So institutions as well as others. Oh, fertility. Natural. So. No, I don't want you to include infertility in this because I want you to be thinking about when people are deciding we're going to aim for 6 versus aim for 2, what are the factors they're taking into account when they make that 2 versus 6 decision? So given that they're trying to achieve some goal, and the goal might be might be what you came up with before, it might be something on the list that you decided was a better goal. What are the various things such as tax incentives today, or you mentioned the cost of education today, that might influence the choice between 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? So you're looking for marginal effects. Same groups, make a list. Oh, you gave that to me. Yes, you did. Thank you. So Dennis, that's why I wanted you to hold that one. This is what you had is more applicable. And who else had one that I said hold on to? You guys had one that I said hold on to? Yeah, because yours was time commitment. So time commitment I think would influence 2 versus 6, but not why you're having kids in the first place. Yeah. And who else did I say hold on to your answer to the next question? You guys, what was your answer I told you to hold on to?
So that's like loss of conflict, all for
how much it costs? Yeah, so that's going to influence this. So you decide you want to have kids for religious reasons or love or whatever, and then deciding how many is going to be influenced by these things. Okay. How you guys, gosh, there's heat up here. Oh, it's the fan. How you guys doing?
Really well.
Good. Oh my gosh, look at how small we put those out. Oh, I can't imagine. Medicare is when you're 65. You need just medical costs. Medical, yes. How y'all doing? Good. Coming up with things? Yeah. Yeah. You're a group of 4? Yeah. We should print it on yellow paper. Well, I ran out of weight. That would be great. Oh, look at your long list. Wonderful. Fabulous. Good. You guys come up with something? Good. You too.
We have city economy, education costs, government policy, social economic status, household capacity, and then.
You mean like the physical building?
So like the actual like household, how big is
the square footage? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We were just kind of talking about possibly like.
Yeah, that's true.
Rachel, ready? Rachel, if you click to the next page. All right. Okay. So now we're starting to think like economists, right? Now we're starting to think about, we're trying to achieve some goal, and I didn't say you had to settle on any particular goal. And then within the context of whatever that goal might be, which might be relevant to the answer you give, I might push to see what the goal is. There may be various factors or variables that influence how many children a couple has. All right. So let me start here. Who's the reporter for this group? What's your name? Russell. Give me one. The state of the economy. So, and does it matter if you're deciding, here you are, you're deciding 2 versus 6. Is it the state of the economy today, yesterday, tomorrow?
Kind of mix up present and future. So
sort of long run? Yeah. So state of the economy, parentheses LR for long run, something like that. Yeah. All right. State of the economy, how would we measure that? What variables would you try to get at to measure that? Employment or unemployment, so jobs? GDP? Oh, I'll try to give you shorter words. Employment. Yeah, just a second. GDP. Median income should drop right out of GDP. Yeah. What else? Wealth? Okay, whole different one. So new, back down. There you go. Family wealth. All right, so family wealth is another factor that might matter. And are you thinking wealthier families have more or fewer? Okay. Okay. All right, so wealth, and then put a little question mark after that because we're not sure if that's going to influence positive or negative. And when you said, what was I forgetting? Russell. When you said state of the economy, you were thinking a better economy means more or fewer? Okay, so put a plus after state of the economy. So the better the state of the economy, the more children people will have. The worse the state of the economy, the fewer children will have. Okay, what's another one? Somebody from this group. Which group are you? You 2 or 4? Choose one. Just choose one. Size of the farm. So the bigger your farm, the more children. All right, size of the farm. And when you thought about the size of the farm mattering, your goal that you figured they had was, what goal were they trying to achieve by having children? To create the farm labor. Okay, so put a plus after that one. The bigger the farm, the more kids they need to work the farm. That's consistent with the goal of farm labor. What were some of our other goals? Do you think if people are trying to proselytize, if they're trying to spread religion, do you think the size of their farm matters? Yes or no? Maybe. I got a lot more like some maybe no, some more questioning faces. If they're having kids because they need kids to work the farm, does the size of the farm matter? You think so? Yes or no? Yeah. So some of these variables matter. Whether they matter or not probably depends upon what the goal is. And if we start doing some empirical analysis and we see which of these factors matter, it might help us to tease out what the goal is that people are trying to achieve by having children. Okay, let's get another one. What's something else that matters to the number of children? Who's the reporter for this group? What's your name? Jeff.
Mortality rates.
Mortality rates. And what are you thinking?
Well, it's going to depend on again for labor or
Okay, so the higher infant mortality is, the more children. So put a plus there. The more children you would want to have to achieve a certain number of children. With the data for the 1800 to 1840 period, are we going to be able to pick that out? The effective mortality rate on the number of births that women have? Why not? I heard somebody say something. That's one possibility, but think about the data that we have. What are the data that we have? That's right. That's right. So the data that we have are census data, so we only have the surviving children. So we're not going to be able to capture the mortality effect on the number of births. That's going to wash out in the data that we have. So if people are having more babies to make up for the fact that babies die in infancy, we're not going to pick that up because what we have is the surviving children, number of children 0 to 9. But may matter to fertility. Okay. Who's the reporter in this group? Alex. Thank you. Parents' age. And age, higher or lower? The older the parents are? Okay. So parents' age, which has a negative effect. So the older the parents are, the fewer children, because fewer years left that the parents will need children to provide for them. Okay. What's your name? John. Okay. So education. So we want parents' education. And the higher the level of education of the parents, the fewer children. Is that what you want to put down? Why? Why would education matter? What's the mechanism by which that would matter? Okay. So part of it might be you don't want to get pregnant when you're in college. That's good. Anything else? Income. Good. So education matters because education is highly correlated with income, and income probably matters, right? So we want parents' income here. The higher income is, what does that do to fertility? Income goes up, fertility is going to go which way? Down? Okay, so if they're trying to have kids to protect them, to take care of them in their old age, but they have a lot of income and a lot of wealth, they don't need the kids to take care of them because they can buy nurses and aides and so on, right? Okay. What else about income? We got a little mix going on here about income. Oh, so if they have high wealth or high income, they may want to have a small number of kids so they don't have to subdivide the estate too much so that it stays, you wouldn't want to be 1/80th of a Kennedy because you would have far less than if you were 1/2 of a Kennedy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but not all over having a good time. Okay. So in this period, the higher the income, people can afford to hire workers for their farms. They don't need to have their own kids, whether they're in the South and are purchasing slaves or in the North and purchasing and hiring free labor. Yeah. So income may matter because of the affordability. So at low incomes, you may figure you can't afford to feed the kids, and so low income may lead to less, all else constant, may lead to fewer kids down the front. So if there's more income, so to put it in econ language, you think about the substitutes, right? So at higher income, there are other substitutes for children that you can afford, and you may choose those substitutes instead of playing Monopoly yet again on a Saturday afternoon. So I think that's back to what was said here. That the more income and wealth you have, then you have the income and wealth, and you don't need the kids for the future, to take care of you in the future. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do we have any prices up there? We've got a bunch of, we've got some wealth up there. We've got income. We've got education. Did we get any price variables up there? Patrick, you got a price variable? No, it's not a price variable. What you got? Okay. I don't care. Yep. So we got some diminishing marginal returns. If we thought there were diminishing marginal returns for any of these things, and we were going to model it mathematically, would we want to have a linear function or something nonlinear? Nonlinear, right? So we want to start talking about logs or values and squares of the values, because that gets us to nonlinearity. What's yours, Patrick? He's laughing already. He hasn't even told me what it is.
So what does the wife or the mother? You just don't want to have that many kids. You don't want to carry that many kids.
So I think, you mean the pregnancy part?
You just don't want to carry that many kids.
How are we going to put that in there?
Even the husband wants to have kids.
Yeah. Right, so preferences. Yeah, so preferences. Yeah. Because I think at some point you just get preferences in there. Up in the top, they talked about medical costs, so that's one piece that would go in there. Colin. So how fast real wages are growing to get a measure of the growth of the standard of living? Okay. So back up on state of the economy, put real wages. Ian, and then I forget your name next to Ian.
Whether there's a war.
A war.
Like, you could say, oh, we need, like, if you're feeling very patriotic, like, you fight them. Or,
Trust me, that is not why you have sons, so go ahead.
or you could kind of have viewers that don't like your passion.
Okay. Well, kind of a stretch. We'll put war down there with a little question mark after, because the problem is that they have a baby and it's 18 years until they might fight, so that's kind of a long. You're hoping the war's over before then. Baruch. There you go. So wars, that's actually the good historical point, is that fertility does go down during war, partly because the men are away and partly because of the pressures in terms of prices and availability. Yep. Okay, so San Francisco, 1 child, Omaha, 4 child. So what is location proxying for? Could be proxying for the cost of living. Could be, what else? Cost of living, cost of education, medical care, real estate, housing, all those things. Yep. Okay, a couple more and then we're going to go on. Okay. Good. So we need some measure of women's rights and the freedom of choice that women can exercise. And also, when we're talking about income, we talked about parents' income, but we didn't talk about women's income versus men's income. So as the gap between male and female wages closes, and female wages go closer to male wages, what do you suppose that does to fertility? All else constant. Decreases fertility, right? Because the opportunity cost of taking time off, so it's not just the burden of being pregnant, but taking time off increases as those wages go up. I'm watching the clock. I got to get, yeah. Okay, so the legal environment may matter. So child labor laws, that would be sort of a constraint. What was one you wanted to have? Enforce, that's right. Schooling laws. Yeah, compulsory schooling laws are going to make a difference. What else? Here's an obvious law that nobody's mentioned yet. So, so time commitment in the sense of what other activities people are taking part in. Okay, I'm not sure how we would measure that apart from what we've got. Availability of birth control and the cost of birth control is going to matter as well. One of the articles we're going to read later on in the semester is The Power of the Pill. Yes, that's right. And the other, we talked about education as mattering because education links to income, but education also matters because education links to the ability to control fertility. Okay, I see hands, but I'm aware of the time, and so I'm going to cut it off. Thank you very much. And move forward a little bit. All right, so what we've been doing is the process by which people come up with economic models. They think about what are the goals that people are trying to achieve. They think about what are the various variables or factors that influence their behavior. They try to think about how to measure those things. They try to think about whether those factors should be a positive or a negative influence on whatever the behavior is. Here we're talking about fertility. There's a third activity that we don't have time to do, which was to think about the assumptions. So I mentioned some. One was, are people rational, quote, quote, rational in the economic sense? That is, are they trying to achieve a particular goal? So asserting that there is some goal people are trying to achieve and that people are taking steps to achieve that goal is assuming economic rationality, that people have some goal they're trying to achieve. There's an implicit assumption in all this that people have the ability to control their fertility. When we're talking in the 19th century, a lot of folks think, did they really have the ability? Yes, they did. In the 19th century, the ways in which fertility was controlled, they had fertility within marriage through condoms, very rudimentary forms of condoms made out of sheep guts. They were not terribly reliable, as you might imagine, but they were utilized. So there was control within marriage. There was also abortion. Abortion at this time was not overladen with a sort of moral story that comes in the 1950s. So it's not until after World War II in the United States that abortion becomes a moral story. Before that time, abortion was a way in which women controlled their fertility. It is, however, a way that has a lot of risk to it. So abortion is a way, regardless of how it's done, when it's done outside of a medical environment, that has quite a lot of risk of infection and subsequent death. The other ways in which people controlled their fertility was through postponing pregnancy. You can postpone pregnancy either by postponing marriage, so changes in the average age at first marriage were one way. Increasing the length of lactation. Listen to me really closely. Breastfeeding is not, in effect, lower a woman's natural fertility, but it does not prevent her completely from getting pregnant. I do not want any emails 5 years from now about how you're having your second baby so close to your first baby because you thought I said in lecture that breastfeeding was a way of controlling pregnancy. Breastfeeding is not an effective form of birth control, but it does lower a woman's natural fecundity. And also what the cultural patterns were in terms of how long until intercourse could be resumed following birth. That was another way in which fertility was controlled. So there are all these means of controlling fertility in the 19th century, which we believe they exercised. We've got two models. I see her, but I still have 30 seconds. One is the target request motive, which is Dick Easterlin's model, and he assumed the goal was to bequeath wealth. And so that one has to do with, I want to pass on part of the farm to my kids, and if I have too many kids, I'm not going to be able to give them very much wealth, and so if there's not a lot of farmland available, I'm not going to have very many kids. Bill Sundstrom and Paul David offered the old age security model. In the work you're doing in section, you look at the index of rural land availability, and that basically blows the Easterlin hypothesis out of the water. So the variable rural land availability says that Easterlin was wrong, that the available land doesn't have an effect on fertility, contrary to what Easterlin said, and that the variables that measure labor market opportunities, which are what Sundstrom and David focus on, those variables, as you'll see in section, do have a whole lot to do with fertility, and do confirm their hypothesis that people have children in order to provide for them, in order to provide for the parents in the parents' old age. Thursday, hasta la vista.